Every game matters, that's the EuroLeague slogan. But is it actually relevant? Or is our beloved tournament slowly becoming more like the NBA? There, the amount of games makes it impossible for players to compete at 100% for 48 minutes on any given night. The matches in Europe are getting longer too. Commercial breaks and often unnecessary reviews extend the game to last more than 2 hours, sometimes even exceeding 2 hours and a half. And let me remind you that in Europe we have 40-minute and not 48-minute matches, making these broadcasts filled with a lot of non-basketball action. Let's see how all these factors are hurting the EuroLeague and what might be the next steps for the participating clubs. The defensive intensity, the importance of every possession, and the in-game atmosphere. The three things every proud European basketball fan were pointing towards while comparing EuroLeague and the NBA. And while the latter still goes way harder than the average NBA crowd, the first two? The difference seems to be getting smaller and smaller with each passing year. Lately, the EuroLeague's product was getting better. Semi-closed league principle with a round-robin format where everybody plays everybody each year, making the tournament way more interesting with a bunch of potential storylines developing each season. At the same time, the number of games for EuroLeague clubs grew significantly. Instead of maybe 60 to 65 games 10 years ago, now EuroLeague clubs play around 80 matches throughout all competitions. Real Madrid, for example, played 88 official matches in the 2022-23 season, where they took part in 4 different tournaments: EuroLeague, Spanish League, Spanish Cup, and the Spanish Super Cup. I understand that it might be super confusing for any non-European viewer why Madrid is participating in 4 different competitions, but basically Spain has its own domestic league and the cup tournament during the season, kind of like NBA Cup now. Plus, there is an additional cup tournament before the season, which is like the last part of the preparation games, but still pretty important over there. Looking at other countries, Bayern Munich played 83 last season, AS Monaco and Olympiacos Piraeus each had 82, while Lithuanian side Žalgiris Kaunas participated in only 78. Yes, the season lasts a little longer. Most official games start 1 month earlier than in the NBA, at around the 20th of September, and finishes in the middle of June, just like the NBA Finals. That means European teams have around 2 to 3 more months to play the 82 games, giving more time in between the matches. There are no back-to-backs, and each game is separated by 2 or 3 days in between. On the other hand, very few European teams have the conditions NBA teams do have: private planes, direct flights, all the rehab programs, and all the other stuff that helps players recover quicker. Before talking about what that means for defense in the EuroLeague, a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video, Rabona. You can check out what they are predicting for EuroLeague or NBA games daily, but don't forget to use our code BasketNews to get a deposit bonus. All the info is in the description, so go check them out. Now, going back to the video, more games in recent years obviously means more injuries. This is a common trend in both the NBA and the EuroLeague. Maybe a casual fan hasn't noticed it, but those who play fantasy basketball for sure did. Or if you are a Philadelphia or LA Clippers fan, for example. However, cherry-picking a couple of teams isn't necessary. More or less, every team goes through the process of having to compete without their best possible rotation. Olympiacos Piraeus, for example, have 3 legitimate centers, but have barely had the opportunity to use them all in the same game due to constant injuries. Another EuroLeague side, Alba Berlin, recently had to register 3 players from their youth team for a single match just to have enough guys on the bench because 8 players, yes, you heard that one right, 8 players were injured for the same single match. Fenerbahce Beko Istanbul has 3 guards, Wade Baldwin, Scottie Wilbekin, and Devon Hall, unavailable at the moment. Former MVPs Sasha Vezenkov and Shane Larkin are injured too, while Real Madrid and Barcelona are dealing with various injuries of their own. Looking at the injury status at the moment, 14 of 18 EuroLeague teams have at least 2 injured players, and that definitely does not help the competition. The amount of games leads to another problem. Teams have less time to prepare special tactics against every opponent. And that has been the selling point for the EuroLeague for so many years. Every game matters, every game has something special. It has been 8 weeks since the start of the EuroLeague, and we have already had 3 double weeks where teams basically play every 2 days. For those matches, the head coach has around 1 or 2 hours of preparation time, meaning not much can be done, and teams just have to rely on their systems rather than pre-game adjustments. That is why playing together for a couple of years in a row or simply having a strong system is often more important. Just look at the example of Paris. EuroLeague newcomers have taken the league by storm, not by their adjustments, but by simply running their things at an incredible level. Olympiacos, for example, also have been a top team in recent years. Coach Yorgos Bartzokas' system has proven to be a successful one. Panathinaikos with Ergin Ataman have also relied on their talent a lot, giving players a lot of freedom. I'm not saying these teams do not adjust to their opponents, they sometimes do, but the main thing leading them to victories is a strong system. Insane number of official matches, less preparation for them, and more injuries have led us to an interesting point in Europe. We are seeing the defensive numbers dropping down. After 11 rounds, only 2 teams out of 18 or 11%, Žalgiris and Fenerbahce, have a defensive rating that's below 110 points allowed per 100 possessions. In the NBA, 6 of 30 or 25% of teams squeeze into that top tier category. Looking at the opposite example, 6 of 18 or 35% of EuroLeague clubs allow more than 115 per 100. That's similar to the NBA, where 10 out of 30 franchises are that bad on defense. But for years, that hasn't been the case. That's something that us, the EuroLeague fans, have prided our tournament on. For some, it is what makes this league even better than the NBA. But now, we're seeing Alba Berlin allowing 90+ points almost each time with those 6 to 8 injuries they're having recently. Olimpia Milano, with a defensive-minded all-time coach Ettore Messina, are the 4th worst defensive team this season, with their main rim protector Josh Nebo out for the majority of season start. Current EuroLeague champions Panathinaikos often allow themselves to relax in the first 20 minutes of each match, lacking intensity and concentration off the ball, thus allowing opponents easy baskets. Yeah, they know they can just turn up the notch and still win the game in the second half, but it's simply not what made the European game so loved by these passionate fans. So you might ask, what can be done? The EuroLeague as an organization, which belongs to the same clubs that play in it, would want more teams inside the tournament and more games, because it would bring more revenue from TV deals and other stuff. Players want less overall games because obviously they don't want to get hurt. Head coaches also want less. They need more preparation time in order to demonstrate a higher quality of play. Fans want less stoppage time and less replays. Whose wishes get fulfilled? Which path do we take? Some teams have already considered leaving the domestic championships and playing only in the EuroLeague. Olympiacos kinda tried that, playing in the 2nd division of Greece a couple of years ago with a different roster than in the EuroLeague. But that didn't really work, and it wouldn't work for most of the clubs. Some have great local TV deals, for example Real Madrid. Other clubs are heavily sponsored by local governments. That money most likely would go away if teams did not compete locally at all. Also, only having 34 regular season games might be a number a little bit too low. That's why at the moment the EuroLeague clubs seem like the prisoners of the moment stuck in the middle of nowhere. The competition itself is growing. Everything seems super nice, but inside of the clubs, there is an insane amount of games, injuries to star players, and a bit less of defense each night. So that is why, in my eyes, basketball in Europe is the loser here. It is having an identity crisis, and I hope some kind of solution is on the horizon pretty soon. Let me know what changes you would want to see here in European basketball, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.